All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is an upper body strength and conditioning day. Woohoo! So we're going to start off with a nice warm up and then go through our workout where we will be using some equipment. I have my 8-pound dumbbells and my loop bands. Those of you with TRXs, today is a great day to have your TRX set up. We are going to be doing lots of rowing stuff where you might want to have that hanging if you have it available. If not, totally fine. I'm going to give you guys options. This stuff right here, and of course, if you don't have any of this, you can grab yourself a towel to use instead. All right, so let's start you guys off with a warm up. We're gonna stick our arms out to our sides and start with these small circles that progressively get bigger and bigger until they are as big as they can go. And then we'll start to make them smaller, and then we'll stop and do that in the other direction. So we'll do this 2 times in each direction, going from big to small, small to big, stop, and then do it the other way. Trying to get those shoulders warmed up. This one always gets the shoulders burning right off the bat. So we'll go through that rotation a couple times each way, and then we'll swing it out over and under. One arm goes over, one arm goes under, about 10 times total. Not worrying too much about counting. If you guys want, you can just follow along with me here. Bringing ourselves down onto the floor, onto our mat. We have that set up. Hands and the knees. We're going to go into our thread the needle. This one, we're going to have our hand behind our head, like so. And then we will close and try to get our elbow as close to the top of our hand as we can. Probably won't touch. That's okay. We'll exhale and open, and try to open all the way up so we are looking as close to above the ceiling, above ourselves on the ceiling as possible. And then we'll close and exhale and open, and we'll try to get 10 of these per side where we're feeling a little bit looser with every rep. So we'll exhale into it. Legs and hips should not be shifting or moving. That's going to stay still, but we should be moving through the mid-back, the low back. And this will feel much more limited than when we have our arm extended like this. So if you're feeling that, is normal. So we'll do this on both sides. And again, when you switch sides, you might feel quite tight on those first few reps, just as you did on that first side. So just breathe into them, exhaling as we open up. And we'll do 10 over there. Down here. So 10 and 10. Now, once you guys are done, you're going to stay in this all-4 position with our shoulders stacked right over top of our wrists here. Do a couple things to warm up our wrists. The first is going to be shifting over top of our fingertips while trying to keep our entire palm down on the floor. So we're rocking back and forth, not too much, but so it feels like there's a little bit of tension going on around your wrists. And what we're doing is helping to loosen up the muscles around your wrists, your forearms, around your elbows. So go back and forth about 10 times. Today is a push-up day, which you guys probably already saw coming. We are doing something a little different, a little crazy in our push-ups, which we will talk about when we get there, of course. But we do want to make sure that we are going through proper warm-ups for our wrists. Next one is going to be in the same position, but I'm going to turn my hands so that my wrists, my palms are turned like this. And then we'll go side to side, and we'll feel that same tension happening in our wrists, going back and forth about 10 times, 5 each way. So this should not be painful. We shouldn't feel any sharp, pinchy pain in our wrists. If that's happening, we're most likely going too far. If I turn to the front, do I have room? You guys can see that I'm not going too much, just a little bit of movement back and forth. And then once we're done those, we can just roll them out as we stand ourselves up to the top, where we're going to go through. Here's caught in the bobby pin. Arms are stuck out in front of us, and we will squeeze the shoulders and spread the shoulders. So we've done this very often down in that same position that we were just in, but right now we are standing, which for some reason makes it a little bit harder. I don't know. We're not bending the elbows. We're trying to move through the upper back, shoulders apart, shoulders together, doing 10 reps total. Again, moving only through that upper back. Trying to breathe, exhaling as you're bringing your shoulders together, inhaling as you're spreading them apart. And again, we can roll them out a couple times. We are going back down onto the floor to start some push-ups. So today is a great day because we are incorporating a jumping push-up into our program. We're going to try to do 5 reps where we do a push-up, where we leave the floor between each rep. Now, if you're getting a really funny look on your face right now, and if you hear the word jump and push-up put into the same sentence, if that freaks you out, do not stress. I have lots of ways to make this much more manageable. So the first way right off the bat is you not being down on the floor for these actual jumping push-ups. If you have a countertop or something stable, you can do it off of there, or you can even do this off of the wall, okay? But before we get into that whole jumping thing, we're gonna talk about these, break them down a little bit, and start off with one set of just push-ups to, here we go, to warm up our body for these push-ups. So let's get down on the floor. We're gonna start off with 5 reps of these push-ups, getting into that strong push-up position. Core is tight. We'll come down with that inhale, exhale, and push ourselves up. And we're going normal tempo, 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, trying to go through 5 reps total. Good morning, Bobby. You're hopping in. You can start off with some arm swings, get those shoulders moving before you join us down here on the floor. All right. So once you guys are done 5 reps, you can stay down here. Don't go too far. If you want to take a knee or if you do want to stand up, that's totally fine. But you are going to be coming back down here because we are going to start our first set of these jumping push-ups. So I know that sounds kind of crazy and that might totally freak some of you out, and I understand that. But for lots of us, these are actually much more manageable than we think. And I'm going to show you guys a couple ways to start these without, to make them more safe than anything and more manageable. So again, if this feels kind of sketchy to you, and if you already struggle with push-ups right off the bat, like let's say you can't do 5 push-ups, so you can't do 10 push-ups properly yet, you're still working on your push-up game, that's totally fine. What I would prefer you to do is do this off of a countertop, maybe the back of the couch, something stable that's not going to move around, or you can always do this off of a wall where we come down and then again, we're pushing ourselves off, we're getting that air time in that push-up. So we're doing 5 reps at a time. Let's get down there and talk about this. Now, the first step is being able to land softly in that push-up. So what we're going to do is start off by trying to come down and then come off the floor and just catch ourselves. Just leave the floor a little bit. And we'll try to go through a couple reps like that where we're just catching ourselves. And then if you're feeling okay, what you can do is try to jump up and catch yourself right down into that push-up. So for some of us, this is going to be, we can do this. For others, it's going to be extremely impossible when we try to do this because it requires a lot of strength and also a lot of connection with your body to be able to land softly into that push-up, which is why this becomes a lot easier when we do it off the wall or off of something inclined, like a countertop or something like that. So we're doing 5 reps of these at a time, done full on properly. I'm going to try my best to show you guys a couple of these. So again, we go down and then we exhale and we jump up. And I'm not leaving the floor too much on those jumps, just a little bit of air time and we catch ourselves. So we're doing 5 reps and then we're going to stand up and pair this with a row where you guys are doing 10 reps of these rows. I'm going to be using dumbbells. If you have a TRX set up, it is a great time to use that TRX to do your inverted row, TRX up here and you're pulling yourself in. Dumbbells or bands, if you're using either of those, we're in a nice bent over position in a neutral grip. So I want my elbows in a little bit more narrow than that push-up position. And we're trying to squeeze our shoulder blades together and hold each rep at the top for 1, 2. And we're doing 10 of these. 1, 2. And that also applies, whatever you're using. Maybe you have a band set up in front of you because that's all you have is your bands. You're pulling it in here with your staggered stance or maybe your half kneeling stance. Or again, your TRX, if you're using your body weight to pull yourself in. We want that 2-second hold on that in phase, and then we let it out, normal tempo. So we'll go through 10 of those. And then we are doing this again. So you guys are going to go through 2 more sets of these. We're starting off nice and slow today with just 3 sets total of these jumping push-ups. And then we are going to work our way up to doing more reps and more sets later on in life. But we are going to start right here. So when you're done your rows, we will take quick sip of water. You can take about 30 seconds of rest. It's not that our back muscles are working directly in our push-ups, but they definitely do assist those push-ups. So if we were to go right from our rows into that next set of those push-ups, we might not be as strong. Whereas if we take about 30 seconds to just let everything relax a little bit, get the H2O in, you're gonna have a stronger set. So I've been rambling on. You guys are probably ready, if not already started your second set down here. Now, if you do not have something to incline yourself, you are not comfortable with jumping off the floor. Maybe it kind of bugs your wrist a little bit. Completely understandable. It's not for everyone, and that's totally fine. But the whole idea behind getting some air time on that push-up is you being explosive. It's you being powerful. So regardless of if you're actually leaving the ground or not, we want to think about being as powerful and explosive as we can on the way up. And that's a great way to actually gear yourself up to eventually, maybe, leaving the floor on these push-ups, is just simply think about being faster on the way up in our normal push-up. Remember, we're only doing 5 reps. So we go down, and then again, up nice and fast. And so that speed, eventually, as you practice that, as you get stronger at that, it will help you be able to take off. Unless that's something that you never want to do, which is totally fine. You don't have to. But it does help us get stronger, and it's kind of cool. We got the cool points factor on the jumping push-ups. All right, so once you're done that set there, we go right into the rows. We're only taking rest when we are done those rows, 10 reps, 2-second hold. And that 2 seconds, you're not just holding it. We want you actively thinking about what's happening in your back. We're pulling our shoulders together, squeezing our back muscles, and then we're letting it down. 10. All right, so once you guys are done this set, again, we're doing 3 rounds total of these push-ups and these rows. I believe probably have one more. So we'll take our rest so that we can be as strong as possible on this final set. These kind of crazy push-ups. All right. So a few deep breaths, you guys. Get that water in. When you're ready, we'll go through that final set of these ones. Unfortunately, this is not all the push-ups that we have for today, but definitely the hardest version of them. So we're going to get them done right now. 5 reps total. Whoa, whoa. Also pleased to announce I can have my window open today. Yesterday there was crazy construction outside, but we made it. Okay, so final set, 5 reps and 10 reps. Reminder for those of you with bands, I did leave you hanging there. I'm sorry, I didn't show you the band option, but I trust that you guys always know if you're only using these loop bands, whenever we're rowing, 2 arms, we're using them like this. I didn't need that, hopefully. All right, so last set of the rows. Once you guys are done, you can grab some water. We have about 1 minute until we should be done. A little quick push-up start here. Woohoo! There it is. Okay. So moving on to the next 2. Okay, so you guys are going to be setting up for the next 2 exercises. We have a chest press happening. We're going to be laying on our back, preferably using dumbbells. So this chest press is all about us creating pressure within our hands. So ideally, dumbbells is what I want you guys to use. If you do not have dumbbells, preferably I would want something that you can actually hold in your hand. I've showed this before using a textbook or a journal or a water bottle or a foam roller, just something solid that you can have in your hands to push your hands together to create that pressure in this chest press is the goal. So like using a band, we wouldn't want to have the band being pulled apart because that's not really what I'm going for. I want you pushing your hands together. So what we're going to do, if you have dumbbells, if you have lots of options and weights, start light. 8 pounds, 10 pounds, really 15 is extremely challenging for this one, so you don't need to go too much heavier than that. We're going to lay on our back and have these dumbbells pushed together, and so that's that pressure I'm talking about. And then we'll pull our shoulder blades into the floor, and that is going to create that arch in our back, which you guys can see happens. So if my shoulders are like this, I can push my back down, but I have space back here, so I want to pull the shoulders down, which just makes that arch. I don't have to actually arch my back. I'm just pulling my shoulders down. Again, hands are squeezing together, and then we're going to come down underneath the bra line, and then exhale and push it up. Going through 12 reps is our number to beat. So you guys can start this one right now. And if you're using these dumbbells, we're squeezing them together. Maybe you're stuck with kind of a heavy dumbbell. What you can do is hold it sideways like this. Again, just squeeze that dumbbell together so that you have that pressure, and you will feel it. You'll feel that little shakiness going on there as you squeeze your hands together, because we're creating more pressure within the muscles that are required to push through that chest press. It makes it a lot harder. So we're doing 12 reps of those ones. Those ones are always kind of nice, the chest presses, laying on our back. But it still burns. So we should feel that one definitely throughout the front of our chest here, but also in the back of our arms, because we are in a more of a narrow set stance. You might feel the triceps a little bit. Standing up, when we are done that, we are going to pair this with a wide grip row. So if you have a TRX, you can use it again. Great time to use it. Arms are going to be swinging out here. So we're not quite up in this T position. I want to be slightly under, but wider than my push-up position. So I know I'm being very specific here, but by being in this specific position, we're gonna help to target more of the rear delts, the back of the shoulders, and less of other things, which is what we want. So I'm gonna use my dumbbells again, go back into that bent over position here. So nice posture, stick in my butt out, and then I'll pull up and wide so that I'm in that almost 90 degrees. So I don't wanna be quite up here, kind of tucked in slightly, and then my palms are facing my legs the entire time, and we're going through 12 reps total of these ones. So again, we're lifting those elbows up. If you guys see me from the side, my wrist should stay under my elbow. So I don't want to be lifting up my hand like this or have any of this weird wrist bendy stuff going on there. I want the elbow lifted in the air so that my forearm and wrist stays as straight as I can. And you can always just do a little shoulder check to the side, regardless if you're using the TRX or the bent over dumbbells or band, maybe. I got you guys. 12. So with this one, we are taking no rest in between. We're going through 3 more sets of these 2 exercises together. So back down onto the floor for that pressure chest press. And then we are up here for these wide set rows. 12 reps, 12 reps. 3 more sets. Let's get it going on. Now, because we are working quite different muscles here, we're taking little to no rest in between. That being said, if you are really challenged by this stuff, and if you get to the end of the set of the rows and you feel like you need to take a little bit of time, try to keep it under 30 seconds so that we can get through these 4 sets on time. That would be time for you to grab water and all that. Get it in. Usually just the transition time that it takes us to get our butts back down on the floor here is enough time of rest for a body, for our muscles. So we're going through our second set. Now, if you want to make this one a little bit harder, or just ensure that you're doing it properly, because you know our body, it likes to make things easier any way it can. And one thing that will happen in this one is that elbows will flare out to the sides. And so what that's doing is it's making us use our shoulders to help out our chest and tricep muscles. So we want to be tucking in those elbows as much as we can to put ourselves into that more narrow position, which, yes, is going to make it harder, but you'll get more out of it, which we both want. Yay. And what do I have here? Yeah. So again, if you do not have a dumbbells, we have just an object, whether it's a water bottle, this is a foam roller. You can use pretty much anything. This has a serious cobweb on it. Am I good? It's a dead spider. We're good. And then you can go through squeezing your hands together. This can be a book, whatever you have in your house, close and available, that you can use to go through your reps. And so the harder that you squeeze and push your hands together, the harder that's going to be. Had a moment there. There's like a, the spider body, but it's a dead one. But that was alive. Wouldn't be the first time. All right. So 4 rounds. This stuff. 12 reps. Those wide grip rows. Okay. So we're going back to back between these two. Approaching our 3rd and 4th set coming up here. And you guys have lots of time with it. Whew, to get this one and one more set in. So we'll get going on these wide rows. Remembering that setup is super important. And I know sometimes I can be a little excessive with the setup, but it makes a huge difference because if you're not set up properly, you're just putting yourself at risk for injury. And if you're like me, if you've hurt yourself before doing exercises, obviously not intentionally, but this stuff makes a huge difference. So before you go anywhere, shoulders together, we want to pull our belly button in nice and tight, soft knees, pushing the hips back, going into that row. The whole time we're trying to activate our core. So we want to actively pull our belly button in, and that will go for when we're up here doing this row or when we're in that bent over row. So if you weren't doing that, we'll try to do that on our final set. So you guys have one more. Let me see the last one till the next 2 exercises. Sorry, 3 exercises that we have coming up. Okay. Good job, you guys. So we're going to give you about 2 more minutes to finish up here to get through the final set of these 2 12 and 12. Yay. So we'll take our time with those with the final set because you're getting these 2 in. You are finished a little bit early. Keep going on one of these. Just grab yourself some water. Take about 1 more minute and then we'll move on to the next part. All right. So definitely feeling our upper body now after that combo. The pushes and the pulls. So we'll get through this final set here. You guys are just finishing up perfect. Awesome. Okay. So as you guys are finishing up, we are moving on to the final part of our upper body strength. We have 3 exercises that we are going to do together in a little circuit, a little strength circuit. So the first one is going to be our 1-arm rows, and we're doing them with a really big emphasis on that stretch on the way down. So because we've been doing lots of bent over stuff, especially if you guys have been joining me with the dumbbells and all that, we're going to do this 3-point style with a support on our hand. So I'm going to use my wall. If you do not have a wall available, you can do this using your leg instead. But preferably, I would want you guys to use like a wall or maybe a chair or a bench or something like that. We're going to use dumbbells if you have them. Of course, if you don't, we have our bands and you're going to have something quite strong. So I would use both of my bands and then we'll loop them around your opposite foot like this, okay? So that's bands. If you're using dumbbells, our hand is going to be, we're in this nice bent over position. Our hand is turned so that our palm is facing our leg. And again, I want my arm supporting my core and my lower back. So I have that hand here, and my back is straight. And then I'll stretch down. So I feel a really big stretch happening on this opposite side. And I probably should have started on the other side. And then we pull in and rotate that arm. And we're going through 10 reps on each side. So I'll actually show you guys on this side, sorry, so you can see what's going on. So big stretch, and then we pull and rotate. Big stretch, pull and rotate. And if you do not have a wall or something to use, you can split your stance up and put this hand on your leg so that you still get that support for your lower back and your core. Another way to do this, which I don't have in here today, obviously, is on your chair. So if you are someone who is very prone to lower back pain, if you have a sensitive lower back, welcome to the club. You can do this with your knee up and your hand. We've done it lots with my chair that I don't have out here today, but that is an option, which is a great option for those of you who feel like you have a sensitive lower back, because I know that feeling. Okay, so we have 2 more exercises to do. The next one is a narrow grip push-up. Hey, I told you guys you weren't done. So we're going through 10 reps of these push-ups. Ideally, I would like you guys to do these off of the floor. Now, if you can't do 10 full-body narrow push-ups, welcome to the club. I probably couldn't do them right now either because they're really effing hard. And what we're going to do instead is our knee push-ups so that we can still really challenge our upper body in this narrow stance position. Hopes of getting stronger in it. Maybe one day doing them in that full body position. So we'll start off with getting into that plank position. And again, we want our hands more narrow, kind of right underneath our shoulders. Plank, strong core. We'll drop down onto the knees, but we want to keep our hips low in that strong plank. You want to relax your feet, bend them. It does not matter. We'll lower down, narrow elbows. So elbows are hugging the body. And then we exhale and push up. So we'll go through 10 reps total. If you can do them up here, do your damn thing. If you want to mix of both, you can lower, knees on the way up, and then lower from the full body. And you guys know that that is going to be a lot harder because we're involving the core. But these ones are what's up. So we're doing 10 of these. Now, the final one is going to be triceps. So you have options. We can do the wall tricep extension, or if you would like to stay down here, if you have dumbbells, we can do our lying skull crusher or tricep extension. It's called a skull crusher. I mean, you guys can probably see why, so yes, be careful with your head. We want the dumbbells dropping beside the head so that the upper part of the arm does not move. We're just bending at the elbows, and then we exhale and push them up. If you have dumbbells that are kind of heavy, if you're feeling like this is too heavy, you can always hold one sideways like this and go through your triceps like so. We're doing 10 reps of those ones. And if you don't have dumbbells, you probably have a wall. You can do these ones. And then last option, because I gave you the option for the rows as well, would be our dips. So if you have dips, access to something that you can do those dips off of, if you find that you like those, if you're crazy like that, or you prefer them, or maybe they're just harder and you like that kind of thing, you can do those instead. So this is our circuit. We are going to go through 3 more rounds of this. Very lovely stuff. And then we have our final part here when we are done, 3 more sets of this, which is all about getting our heart rate up, getting those endorphins released, getting us feeling good and energized to take on the day. So we'll go through these 3 rounds. Again, starting back off with that first one, double check. It's our 1-arm stretcher rows. So we are back to the first one. Preferably using a wall or something to help us support our core or our lower back. Big stretch, and then we row and pull it in. So because we're having that shoulder kind of come down, we're feeling more stretch happening in our back. And then as we pull up, we're going to be using those muscles more. So you'll probably feel this a lot more than just our average row where we're not coming all the way down like that. But we don't want to come too far down that we start to like bend through our back or rotate through our body, just enough so that we feel a bit more stretched than normal, and then we pull in through that tension. Woo! Feeling that. I don't know what I did. I think I was like sweeping or cleaning or something this weekend, but maybe last week, I'm not sure. But my lats were so sore. It's always that real life stuff that gets you the most. You know, gardening or picking stuff up, moving stuff, makes you feel those little muscles. Okay, so we are going through these 3 exercises. I know I've given you guys lots of options, but remember you just have to choose one. So we have these rows, 10 and 10. The push-ups, 10 reps total, which again, if push-ups are not your forte, if you are like even the knee push-ups, because those are really hard. Don't underestimate those narrow grip knee push-ups. Those aren't happening for you. Find something elevated that you can do this off of. Probably have a couch or a countertop or something that you can use. And if you don't have any of that, find yourself a wall and just do this. You can do this instead, or you can even do a narrow push-up up here if you really are not feeling those floor push-ups. But I want you guys to get through this, get through 2 more rounds after this one. 10 and 10 and 10 of the triceps. Let's do it. There you go. So we'll go through this 3rd set. We have lots of time. We have about 10 minutes until we should be starting the final part, the conditioning. Just set our timer, make sure. Yes. Awesome. I had to like, you'll hear all about this when we get to the cardio, but I had to like play around with this timer so much to get it set how I wanted it for this, for intervals today. But I think I made it. We'll find out. Okay, so 2 more rounds of this stuff, going through them, and little to no rest in between. If we do need to take any rest, it will be at the very end of this circuit when we are done our triceps, that last one where we're moving just through the elbows. Okay, let's do it. Bands. I actually have kind of a spicy tricep option for those of you who only have these loop bands. So if you're kind of either fed up with the wall tricep extension, or maybe you don't even have a wall that you're comfortable doing this off of and you only have these bands, you can try doing a tricep extension like this. We can hold the band down here like so, and then we just push up one arm at a time. So one stays down and then the other anchors, and you'll feel that work on that moving arm, this one that goes up on the tricep. And yes, how heavy your band is will influence how hard this is. So if I was to use my stronger band, this would feel a lot more challenging. So if you only have bands, you want to try something a different, you can try this and go through this tricep extension, which also kind of works the shoulders a bit, because we have to keep our hands apart. I feel like sometimes the band option is kind of left hanging there. So you guys can try that one out if you would like. Okay, so we'll go through these next couple sets. For the upper body, which is really feeling now. Good work. So we have 10 reps of each. Let's get it. Stretch your rows. Good job, you guys. So we have lots of time until we should be starting our last set. Well, technically about 7 minutes. So please take your time. And if you feel like these things, especially the rows, a little bit easy, you guys know what to do, slow down, or even better, maybe add a 1 or 2 second hold at the top of each of those rows, especially now on your 3rd set, on your 4th set. If you're going through them, you felt like you probably could do more than 10, then I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to feel like 10 is it for you and that is all you got in you. But sometimes you have to take that into your own hands most of the time and do that for yourself, make it harder for yourself. So pausing, or again, simply slowing down are 2 ways that are really easy to do. I mean, sometimes it's easier said than done, but they're very simple and they make a big difference. All right, so we'll do a 3rd set and a 4th set. Woo! Nice work, you guys. So one of the biggest things that helped me in those wall tricep extensions is thinking about, and this was to not only make them feel harder, but also just to help my form be better, is to think about shooting up onto the toes. And so by doing that, now my pivot is through my feet, and I'm moving through like my toes, I go back and forth. If I have my heels down, and I'm going down and going up, I'm actually moving through my Achilles and my calves, which is not the best, because as we go down here, we can go into quite a big bend, quite a big stretch, and those are really sensitive to this kind of stuff. So by pushing up onto our toes, we're putting more weight on our upper body, which is, yes, going to make it harder, but we're also making it safer, which you guys know is always something that I think about, because it's something that we all have to think about. But sometimes we don't. So let's take that into our final set, as that is where we are, the last one. Woohoo! Okay, so we'll get you guys going on here in this last set of these 3 moves. And I'm going to move on to our last part, which takes us about 15 minutes to do. Woohoo! Fine. Okay, let's get it. Let's do it. Final set. Yes, I think I got it. Awesome. Let's do this last set, you guys. This is it on these ones. And then we are going to take a couple minutes before we go into final conditioning circuit. So make sure your water is full. If you've got a sweat towel, it's going to get hot and heavy in here. Whoop, whoop. But we'll finish up this part first. All right. So we're trying our best to have our strongest final set, although we are the most tired here, I know. But we're still trying to finish strong. Use that breath in your favor. If you're struggling on those reps, exhale and use it to push through them. I think you can. I know you can. Just got to do it. Just got to do it for your last set. Okay. So big stretcher rows. You guys got it. 10 and 10. We need 10 of those narrow push-ups. Final set of those 10 triceps. And once you guys are done, we can rest, grab ourselves some water, chill out for about a minute before we go into this last part, which is a 15-minute part. Woo! Okay. So we're gonna give you guys 1 more minute to do your thing here. If you are done, we have 4 exercises that we're going to do on this timer that I have set to beep every minute. So minute-long rounds. We're gonna go back to back. Exercise 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then after we're done exercise 4, we have 1 minute of rest. So that entire round takes us 5 minutes. And we are doing 3 sets of this circuit, and then we are done, okay? So no transition time between the exercises, but we do have 1 minute of rest after we're done with the 4th movement, which I'm gonna explain them all right now, and then we'll start them because I don't have time to explain them on the rest, because there is no rest, okay? So first one is going to be, starting at the end of the mat. You guys can start if you want with me, because sometimes it helps to just do a couple reps to remember what we're doing here. We're doing a walkout with an optional push-up at the bottom. So I know we've done a lot of push-ups, I know, but I would like you to try to see if you can do some more going through this walkout push-up. Okay, so for 60 seconds, this is going to be you guys walking down, pushing out. At any point, you can leave the push-up out, or you can do a shoulder tap instead. You just walk out, whatever you want to do. Maybe do more than 1 push-up. It's totally up to you. That's exercise 1. 2 is going to be a lateral bound. So we're going to be jumping side to side with the legs. Yes, okay. So low impact is going to take this big step with this tap, sending arms out to opposite sides. And that is our 2nd exercise, okay? 3rd exercise, you guys are going to be going through our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. So we got 6 of these. 1, 2. Low impact. You can either take or leave those jumps. 1, 2. Okay, so that is our 3rd exercise. And of course, I'll remind you guys of these. Last one is a broad jump to back shuffle. So we're going to go forward and then back shuffle it back. Now, if I was to have more room, I might be able to take more than 1 jump forward. So keep that in mind. If you are training in a bigger space, you have options to do that. And I will come with you a low impact version on the timer. You guys ready? I think I'm ready. Set. First one, walkout push-up. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So starting off, remembering with this one, that the wider the feet, the easier. So if you are struggling, you can widen up your feet, and it will make this one feel a lot easier. If the whole up and down thing is kind of making you a little lightheaded, a little dizzy, you can always squat into this one and squat out of it so that you don't have your hips above your heart, because sometimes that makes us feel just a little lightheaded. In addition to all this other crazy jumping stuff that we're doing, we got options. So you're 30 seconds in. Whoop, whoop. Again, feel free to throw in more than 1 push-up at the bottom. Yes, probably make it a lot harder if you do more than 1. So if you would like, or maybe you want to take them out, whatever makes you stay more consistent for 10 more seconds. Let's do it. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Right into that next one. So we're going right into our lateral bounds. I have my opposite arms guiding me right to left. Really important that we stay facing forward in this one. So we don't want to be turning off to the side anyway. We want to stay forward. If we're low impact, we are hustling. It's kind of like a throwback to some kind of step class, but it's actually quite challenging if you go fast through it, okay? 30 seconds left. Let's go. Remember, 3 sets. Okay, you have to do 2 more after this one. So let's try to find a pace that we can maintain throughout this entire minute so that we do not have to stop. That's the goal here. 15 seconds left. Good job, you guys. Woo! Let's go. A couple more. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 2. So we're going through these ones. Again, if you're low impact, we are going back and forth, and then we lunge, and then we lunge. Or maybe you want to do a combo where you can do the split jumps, and maybe you just don't jump on those lunges. The reason why I put these split jumps and lunges, and I like this combo. It's kind of fun. Kind of breaks up the split jumps with the lunges and vice versa. It makes it more manageable to do as well, because you kind of get a little break from just doing split jumps the whole time. And we're involving our brain, our coordination, which you're probably feeling right now. Continue to feel for 10 more seconds. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Okay, last one. Broad jump, back shuffle. If you're low impact, we're forward, and then we're backward. A little bit slower on the way forward, a little bit faster on the way back. And we stay low the entire time. Whew. So yeah, a little bit of sneaky legs in here. A little bit. 30 seconds left. Good job, you guys. So we're trying to use our breath. Exhale, land nice and soft, and then we back pedal back. And essentially, we're staying low in that squat the entire time, as low as we can. I mean, your legs are on fire, I know. So just try your best to keep doing something for 10 more seconds. Whew, you got this. We get 1 minute of rest. In 3, 2, 1, time. Okay, good job, guys. So we're walking, we're resting, we're breathing. If you want to grab yourself some water, you have 1 whole minute right now to do so. So take some deep breaths. Think about how that felt, how you're feeling. Remember, you got to do it 2 more sets. At least doing what you just did right there, maintaining what you did. But second, third set, in theory, your body knows what's going on. We've warmed up for these specific movements. So hopefully we can push ourselves a little bit harder than we did on that first set. But remember, with this kind of stuff, especially for minute-long bouts, it's better off to start off a little bit more conservative, a little slower, and build up on your pace as you go through the minute, than start off going so hard and having to stop like 20 seconds in or 40 seconds in or whatever. You guys ready? Because we are starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So walkout push-up, kind of a one-pace exercise. I mean, yes, you can hustle a little bit faster and moving your hands and going through the push-up, but try your best to just be in control, especially on the push-up. If you're choosing to do it as properly as you can. And we're going through this for 30 more seconds. So you actually don't get too many of these in. Again, we're trying to be in control, remembering the whole deal with widening up our feet. If you're really struggling, try to widen them up a bit. And on the flip side, if you want to make this a bit harder, narrow out your feet. Yes. 15 seconds. So give me like 1 more. Down and up. All of it. Okay, you guys. 3, 2, lateral bounds. Here we go. So going into our second set, trying to land as softly as possible. Yes, how far you jump makes this harder, but it's really important that we're landing soft, we're landing with control. We have that proper alignment of our knee and our hip. We don't want to be landing so that our foot is way out here and our knee is in here. Again, you guys can always check yourself and like look down. Make sure that you're lined up. That goes low impact or high impact. We want to make sure that we're in line with that knee. 20 seconds left. I'm going to distract you a little bit. We'll try to pick it up to the end here. Let's get it. 10 seconds. Come on. Good work, you guys. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have our split jumps, 2 lunge jumps. So arms, preferably, doing this, counting is very challenging. Preferably, I want you guys to get your arms moving. Opposite arms, opposite legs. And we know that moving our arms straight over moving them bent is harder. So you want to make this a bit harder. You brain your body all the above. Try straightening out your arms or simply just connecting them so that they move with your feet, with your legs. Coordination. 20 seconds left, you guys. We so have this. We'll just pace ourselves through it. Remember, we have one more exercise after this and then one more round and we are there and we are done. We're gonna feel so good if we just push ourselves now. 10 seconds. Let's do it. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Broad jump, back shuffle. And trying to land as softly as possible. If I had more room, probably take more than one jump. You take 1, 2, and then I back shuffle all the way back to the beginning. And that is, again, just to make it a bit more interesting, if you have space to do so. Low impact or high impact. I want you guys low. Try to get your butt down. If you have sensitive knees, maybe don't sit so low. That's okay. Try to stay light on your toes on the back. And then a bit faster, we want to push the knees out on the way forward. 20 seconds. Ooh, the leg burners. You guys got it though. It's probably a little residual. You were here yesterday. All the other stuff. 10 seconds. Let's do this. Go, let's go, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're taking a minute of rest, and then we have our final set. And then we are done. So take those deep breaths. Go drink some water. Keep moving, keep walking, especially if you're feeling really hot and heavy right now. Hopefully that is happening. If not, we have one more round, 5 more minutes, 4 technically, to make that happen. So 30 more seconds right now, you guys, taking deep breaths, trying to think about the final set. How hard are you going to push yourself in? So if you want to challenge yourself on this last set of walkout push-ups, I got a challenge for you guys. Every time you walk out, I want you to add a push-up. Okay, so if you've just been walking out and doing a 1 push-up, walking back up, if you've been doing 2, whatever, on this last set here, let's walk out, do 1, walk back up, walk out, do 2, walk back up, 3, 4. Let's try it out. Here we go. And that's, of course, optional. For those of you who are challenged by just the walkout, you don't even need to do the push-up. That's okay. So then we'll do 2. And then see how many you can work your way up to. I think like 7, 8 is like really hard. 6. It's been a hot minute since I've tested this. 30 seconds left, you guys. Let's do it. Remember to breathe through those push-ups. Remember, this is your final set of them for today, for the week. Woo! 10 more seconds left. Yes. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Yes. All right, lateral bounds, you guys, right up and into it. Trying to transition as quickly as possible so we waste no time, and trying to use that breath, that exhale, to push yourself off over to the side, landing as softly as possible. Most importantly, just moving your body. Let's do it. 30 seconds left. Good work, you guys. Keeping our chest up, shoulders together, trying to get those arms moving with the legs. 20 seconds. You can do this. Come on. Just don't stop. Whatever you do, 10 more seconds left. Let's go, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. Okay, so we're going on to our split jumps to lunge jumps. Woo, let's do it. So we're trying to go as quickly as possible, moving our feet, going through 30 more seconds of this stuff. Just gonna fly by, so let's push ourselves right now. Move your feet a little bit faster so that you are just uncomfortable. You want to stop, but you don't stop. You keep going. You're at that fine line of needing to stop and being able to do it. That's where I want you guys for the next 20 seconds. So find it. Whatever version you're doing, get there. Make it feel like you need to stop. 10 more seconds. Come on, you guys. Pick up your pace. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Last one. In 3, 2, 1. Come to the end of your mat and let's do this. Final one. So we're trying to stay low on that back shuffle. Woo, woo, woo. Get as many of these in as we can. This final round, this final minute. Let's do it. Woo. You guys have 30 seconds left of it to get it in. There it is. Come on. I'm moving a little bit more, a little bit faster than we want to. Knowing that we're going to feel way better. We just go a little bit harder right now. 15 seconds left. Last chance, you guys. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you guys are done. Woo! Okay, so I'm leaving this run, letting this run. I'm going to leave it run for the next minute here, just so we can rest and breathe and recover and have a minute to do so. So please, same as we were doing between our rounds, walk, move, grab some water, whatever you want to do. Let your heart rate come down. I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of stretches that I will start explaining when this timer goes off in about 30 seconds. So take the next 30 to just relax a little bit, keep moving, especially if you, again, were feeling that really uncomfortable level, like you needed to stop. You should let your heart rate come down. Take some deep breaths. Okay, so first off, good job, you guys, with those push-ups. If you were joining me on those jumping push-ups or just all of them in general, we had lots of different variations today. So yay, we are done. I am going to stop this timer. It's going to go off right now. And we are going to explain a couple of stretches. So the first one is nothing new. We've been here before. It is for our chest and our shoulders. This is such an important one to do, hence why I keep showing it to you guys and kind of making it obvious that I want you to do it. Thank you guys, good job. Stretch it out, chest and shoulders. But this is going to be really crucial for us to help promote good posture, because no matter how much work on our back muscles we do, we still do a lot of forward stuff, and we're doing lots of push-ups and stuff, which just tends to bring us in and together like this. So by counteracting that with some nice long static stretching, holding this stretch here for about a minute per side. And if you have a door frame or even like a TRX or something, you can do both sides at once, just simply to save time, so you don't have to stand on 1 minute on each side. So that's the first one that if you are going to do any, I would highly suggest you do that. Even if it's just you reaching behind your back here, now is a great time, you're nice and warm, to give those muscles a nice long stretch. So that is for the front side of the body. Last would be your back, which we can take down onto the floor. You guys can spend some time down here doing this cat-cow. We round our back, we arch our back, and then we can eventually sit on our heels, walk our hands away, and spend some time down here, which I know you'll have no problem doing because this feels so good. So take your time, you guys, through these couple stretches. If there's anything else that you want to incorporate in, please feel free to do so. It's on you. But you guys are done with me. Thank you so much, Bobby, Tanis, and Sean, who jumped out early. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing day. I will see you hopefully tomorrow live in the video, if not later on this week. Bye. And for my replay watchers, you guys rock. Please drop a comment on this video. Let me know you were here. I always love seeing them, even though maybe I never reply to them, but I still see them and I do appreciate them. So thank you and have a great day. Bye, you guys.